I'm Anisha from Sassy Creations, and I am going to do a short little tutorial for you on sewing the thumbhole cuffs of the new Buttons and Bibs Elemental Tee Deluxe add-on pack. There are so many sleeve options and a peplum option, and bishop sleeve is so cool. And I am going to show you how to do the thumbhole cuff because there was a little bit of confusion. I have one of my all-time favorite Buttons and Bibs prints here to use. I've basted my notches just for this video so that you can see a little bit easier where I'm sewing. So I've got, this is bamboo lycra, and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start by folding this right sides together. We're going to line up those notches and we're going to sew in between those two. So those middle two notches, that's where we're going to sew first. I will do that. Okay, so we did that. So in the tutorial, the next picture that is shown is like this. So you can kind of see where you've sewn together here. So we're going to flip that back over. Okay, so I'll flip it this way so it's the same direction as in the tutorial. Now we're going to flip these two. This is number 3 and 4 in the tutorial. I'm going to flip those off to the side. And then I will flip this up to match this. And I'm going to sew in between these notches because they will be matching up now. All right. Okay, so I flipped that up. You can see these are out of the way and this is flipped up. I'm going to match up these notches here. I guess I could have used something other than yellow. And then I'm going to sew in between those. Just making sure that the other two pieces are nicely out of the way. We don't want to stitch over them. Okay, so we stitched between those now. Now we're going to do the same thing for the other two. And now we flipped those other two out of the way over here, right? I can see the two corners of them here. I'm going to match them up. Flip this around, push that little corner out, like so. And now I've got the other side ready to sew. All right, so now I'm going to line up my two notches here again. So these ones here and this one here, and I will sew again in between those. So I've done that too now. Now we can turn it right side out. We're already going to have a bit of a tube shape. It's actually going to look a little bit like a cape. So now we have the front of our thumbhole cuff. This is where the thumb is going to come out. We have nice little seams here. Now we just need to sew the bottom together again. And to do that, just get this nice to fall nicely here. So we have two pieces here and two pieces here, right? So I'm going to take the top one here and the top one here. I'm going to pinch them together. Just keep a hold of them like that and flip it out to the wrong side again. All right. So I've still got my pinched here. So these were the two top ones there. What I'm going to do now is pin these guys together. And then I have like this little croissant kind of shape. And I can grab the other two here and pin them as well. And now to sew these, I'm just gonna shake that out a little bit. You need to make sure that you're not gonna sew on these seams here. I sew them in two separate stretches. So you want to make sure, I'm gonna sew this one first. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this seam allowance over to that side and this seam allowance over to the side. So basically what I'm gonna be doing here is keep this one out of the way, and I'm going to be extending the seam that I sewed here down to the end. It looks the same on the other side. This is the seam I already sewed in the last step, and then I'm going to go and sew it down, continue it down, just making sure to keep this other little bit out of the way. So I did this side now, sewn down there, and now I'm going to sew. I'm going to flip that seam allowance over on both sides. Just make sure you're doing it on both sides because you don't want to catch it, otherwise you'll have that thick part there. Alrighty, and now I'm going to sew down that little bit. And there we go. So now we've got those two sewn, we got our little croissant here. Now we can turn it right sides out again. Let's tuck that in there. Line up our raw edges and our seams. And there we go. A thumbhole cuff. Yay, we did it! There's our thumbhole cuff, all done. And now you can attach it to your sleeve. And there you are. All right. I hope this video was helpful to you. And I would love it if you would use my affiliate link if you decide to make a purchase, a pattern purchase or something. I'll link it below. Have a good one.